John, any tips on how to explore characters' backstories and still make sure that all roles are given their own spotlight within a 3 to 4 hour session? That's a lot to unpack. So what you're saying is how to touch on everybody's backstory in a 3 to 4 hour session. In my opinion, you can't. You can't touch on everybody. But you're going to have more than one session, right? This is what has happened with me, okay? I'll have 4 players, all right? Player A has such a good backstory that I'm willing to make the campaign revolve around them, okay? Because the backstory is so cool. It's like, oh yeah, dude, I want to explore this so well because it's so deep and there's so much going on. Like, for example, one of my players, somebody killed his wife and he's trying to figure out who it was. Okay, that's a great that's a campaign right there. That's what it is. He's a police detective and somebody killed his wife and he can't find out who it is, and the police department is just like kind of like, hey, it's a cold case, we're letting it go. And that's interesting to me. So I don't mind revolving an entire campaign around that one character's story, because everybody can throw in their 2 cents, you know what I mean? They can throw in their little pieces into that. So that's player A. Player B was part of the mafia. Okay, perfect. I'm sure that player A will want to have conversations with the mafia to see if they were involved in the killing of his wife. So now both of those players are connected. Now, my other 2 players, they have a completely different backstory. I can shoo them in, but now we're going into territory where it's suspension of disbelief, you know what I mean? And I don't like doing that. It kind of takes us out of the story where it's like, oh, okay, we're all connected in every single way. I don't think that's going to happen. The best way to do it is touch on like 2 people per session, and then make sure you have the mechanics and gameplay that all the players will enjoy in the session. So, for example, I know one of my players loves combat, okay? Doesn't really care about role-playing all that much. Will roleplay, is a great role player, but they have the most fun when they're in a combat situation. So I know in the back of my head, no matter what, but in this 3 to 4 hour session, we got to have a combat encounter. The other player likes to roleplay. Okay, well, I got to make sure that we're going to have some role-playing. In Cyberpunk, it's not hard to do that. Then another one is a net runner. And I'm like, okay, so I have a net runner player, so I got to make sure there's things that they can net run. I got to set that up for them. So you don't, and that might seem like, oh my God, that's so much work. But if you have 4 players, that's only 4 people that you have to focus on. If you don't have a lawman, you don't have to worry about the backup or a police station or having connections in the police station. If you don't have a med tech, you don't have to worry about cryogenic bags and healing and working for a clinic and connections with trauma team. If you have a primarily roleplay heavy group that is like, yeah, combat's cool, but we'd rather do role-playing, then you don't have to worry about having a combat encounter every session. You could have it every 2 sessions. There's always a common thread between all your players. I know like other RPGs like D&D and stuff, they kind of promote this whole like, we're a gang of heroes and we will go and save the day and bring justice to the enemy, and that's like their main attraction with each other. But if you notice with games like Baldur's Gate 3, that story is not that way. You're all connected with this whole like mind thing that's going on. Like you have the parasites in your head, and you're like, okay, I wouldn't normally work with you, but we're both in the same bad situation. So at least for now, in this moment, let's work together. And then this moment becomes like 3 days, 4 days, a month, or however long the game is, because it's like, you know, we trust each other. We've been through enough with each other. We're in the same, our goals are aligned. So let's just work together. And then the game explores it more, where you can have romantic relationships and best friends and really deep connections. But in Cyberpunk, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to go that way. It's just like, these are the people that I work with, and I would rather work with these people than anybody else. Even some of my best friends or blood relatives cannot help me in these situations. They can't help me make the money that I need to survive, but these people can. And so in a sense, they're way more valuable than anybody else that I know. And that shows. And it's like you can't be on your own in Cyberpunk. You need help. In the Cyberpunk world, you need help. You need a gang. That's why the Edge Runners anime is so peak. It's like peak Cyberpunk, dude. They all get together, they do their gigs together, they don't always get along, and in fact, you know, they would even betray each other at some point, you know, like it happens. But for a little while things are good, you know.